Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole and I am on the top of the rock right now in New York City. I'm here with Skyscanner. I'm so thankful for them and their app helping me find inexpensive flights to go on spontaneous trips like this. It's been so much fun. And on this video, I want to share with you guys some tips on how to travel as a solo female. I do a lot of my traveling by myself and it has given me so much confidence and independence as a woman in today's world to be able to go and travel the world. So I'm going to share with you some of the things I love doing on trips and kind of take you on this little New York experience that I'm having. Traveling is one of the top things on people's New Year's resolutions list, and I can't think of a better way to gain confidence and independence than traveling as a solo female. I know it can sound intimidating and really scary if you've never done it before. Trust me, I was scared out of my mind before I went on my first trip alone, and then I moved halfway across the world for 6 months by myself. But I'm hoping that this video gives you some practical tips and things that you can take with you and gives you a little bit of inspiration that will help you hop on that plane and experience the world this year. I'm gonna give you some very specific tips of things I've learned while traveling alone, but really it just comes down to be safe, be smart, and be confident. If you have all of these 3 things, you'll be fine. My first tip is to do your research. Find things to do and places to go beforehand. Anytime I go on a trip, whether I'm going alone or going with family and friends, I do so much research. I look on Instagram, Pinterest, different travel blogs, I Google, I read travel books. Find out everything you can about the place that you're visiting so that you're prepared. The more prepared you are, the more opportunities you'll have to relax and be spontaneous and have fun and not be so worried about where you're gonna eat or what you're gonna do or how you're gonna get your tickets or how to get on the bus. If you do your research ahead of time, it'll make your trip that much better. Every time I travel alone, I make an itinerary and then I print it out. I usually keep a PDF version on my phone, but I also have a hard copy where I can look at my list, see what things I wanna do. I can prioritize things that I really want to have happen on the trip and then some things at the bottom or if I have free time. Doing this helps me accomplish more in my trips and makes me feel like I've seen more of the city and made the most of my experience there. Another thing you can do is join a group tour. Now this might be way outside of your comfort zone because you're by yourself, but it's the great way to be surrounded by people and to get to know other travelers. A lot of time people on group tours are also traveling by themselves or maybe they're a newly married couple. Either way, every time I've joined a group tour, I've had so much fun because I am more challenged to step outside my comfort zone and talk to somebody I otherwise wouldn't talk to. This is also a great way to see different parts of the city and have other things included on your trip where you wouldn't have to pay extra tickets for. It also gives you insider information and tips from a local or someone that knows more about the place that you otherwise wouldn't know if you went by yourself. My next tip is to take a small purse like this, something with a zipper that you can zip up all of your belongings. You don't want to bring a big purse like this that has a big opening, that has literally everything in here known to man, like a Starbucks gift card, red lipstick. I mean, take the things that you need, but you don't need a big purse. And I think it's much safer when you travel with something small like this that you can put across your body, have close to you at all times, because pickpocketing is a thing. I mean, it happens for sure in other countries, but it can even happen in America. So no matter where you're at, especially if you're traveling alone, keep your things close to you. Always keep them zipped up, always have your eye on them. If possible, get a small purse bag like this. This honestly, it looks really tiny, but I can fit so much in here. Usually I put in chapstick, 1 thing of lipstick, my credit card, driver's license. I always have a ponytail, like a Starbucks gift card for coffee. I can even fit a hair, I have a little compactable like hairbrush mirror, a little mini hairspray, like literally, and then I can put snacks on the top. So you can actually fit a lot in these, but it's a lot smarter than holding onto a big purse that someone could easily come to the side of you and swipe it out of your hand or cut the strings. Whatever you do, keep all your zippers facing in and close to you at all times. My next tip is to dress like the locals. Now you might be thinking, what does that have to do with anything? Think about it. If you go to a place where people wear black long trench coats and very dark colors and you show up in a tie-dye sweatshirt, blue sweatpants, and a bright yellow hat, you are going to stick out like a sore thumb and everything about your presence is going to scream tourist. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world, but when you're traveling alone, especially as a woman, you don't want to put a big target sign. Unfortunately, we live in a world that is not always the safest, and people don't always have the best intentions. And so when you're traveling by yourself, do what you can to not make yourself look like a tourist. This is so easy. You can do research online to see what the people in the culture dress like, what types of things do they wear, and then you can pack things, even if it's just a jacket, that will help you fit in and look like you're part of the community. On that same wavelength, my next tip is to not act like you're alone. Don't ever make it explicitly obvious that you're traveling by yourself, because again, people are crazy and they don't always have the best intentions, and so you don't want to be on a group tour or talking to somebody at dinner and be like, oh yeah, I'm staying by myself at this apartment down on 42nd and Broadway. I mean, hello, Bueller, like, sirens are going off in my head. Sometimes you don't think about it and it's an innocent conversation. Don't ever insinuate that you're traveling by yourself. If you feel like you're in a situation where you feel unsafe or you feel like someone might follow you home or try to do something to you, you can use things as a way of an escape. Like, oh, I'm meeting my family at a coffee shop in a couple minutes, I better get going. Or my boyfriend's about to meet me, it's nice chatting with you, have a good day. You can say something to get out of the situation if you don't feel like it's safe. And then if you really feel like you're in danger, tell somebody, call somebody, do something to get out. Never put yourself in a position where people know that you're alone, they know where you are, and they know where you're going. I'm not saying these things to freak you out. Truly, when I'm traveling, I really have not had any encounters like this, but it's always good to be aware, to be safe, and to always be cautious, and to know these things beforehand, because if you don't know them and then you get put in that situation, it could get really bad really quick. So I'm telling you these things so that you're prepared. Your mama will thank me later. My next biggest tip is to always watch your bags. A lot of times, especially when traveling internationally, you take the train as your transportation. And unfortunately, when I lived in Italy, I was taking a weekend trip to Venice and I put my backpack up on top and then I fell asleep on the train ride. Well, when I got to Venice, I went to grab my backpack and it was gone. Luckily, I had moved my camera and all my expensive equipment into another bag that wasn't taken, but my entire overnight bag filled with my clothes, my toiletries, my makeup, which you girls know is real expensive, my brushes that I've had for 10 years, literally everything I needed for that weekend that was in that backpack was stolen. Don't make the same mistake I did. I typically learn things the hard way. The things that I know now are usually from mistakes that I've made, but when you're traveling on a train, either put your backpack on your lap and sleep on it, put it under your legs, and even if it's under your legs, wrap your foot through one of the straps or put your arms through one of the straps. Whatever you do, do not let your bags out of sight. I usually never, if I can avoid it, put my bags up top or somewhere where I physically can't touch them or see them, because things like that happen. Always watch your bags. The last thing I want to leave you with while traveling alone is take time for you. The whole point of traveling by yourself is that you're by yourself. So take advantage of the things that you can do that you can't do when other people are there. So take time for yourself. Go to a coffee shop and relax, journal, reflect, sit at a park, look out at a lake, and sit there for a couple hours and just think. Do things that you would not be able to do if other people were there, and take advantage of that time to reflect and to restore and recover. Honestly, I think one of the best things I've ever done for myself is travel by myself, because not only has it given me so much confidence and independence as a woman, but I feel like I've grown so much and matured so much as a person from the people I've met and the things I've learned, and taking that time for myself to really become who I'm meant to be. So as you probably know if you follow me on Instagram, the last trip I took by myself was to New York City. Skyscanner sent me there for my last spontaneous trip of 2019, and I wanted to kind of take you through some of the fun things I did because I had the best time ever.
Good morning, it's the morning of day one. I woke up at really early. I only got 5 hours of sleep because I stayed up way too late. I was so excited to be here, and I always forget how much the 3-hour time difference makes a difference. But anyways, I woke up early and I'm gonna go wait outside in the cold to get a cronut from Dominique Ansel Bakery. One thing I always do when I travel in hotels is bring tea with me, because I never know if they're gonna actually have good tea or coffee. So this way, every morning I can get my 1 cup of green tea in. And it's so cold outside that this is exactly what I need right now. It's also a good way to save money, because sometimes when you travel, coffees can be like $4 or $5. So bring little tea bags. I just arrived at Dominique Ansel. Last time I came here, I tried to come at opening, because if you don't get here before, the line gets super long and then they sell out of their cronuts in like an hour. And for whatever reason that morning, my alarm didn't go off, and so I missed it. And by the time I got here, I think I got here like 30 minutes after they opened. The cronuts were all gone. So I'm here. They open in, what time is it? They open in 20 minutes and I'm so excited to finally get a cronut. One of the employees came out and gave us these little hand warmers, which is so nice because it's freezing cold outside and there's people starting to line up. But luckily, I made it to the front of the line with my new Canadian friends. Say hi. Hey. These guys are awesome. We're just out here trying to keep our hands warm, waiting for the cronuts. Oh my gosh. How nice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What customer service. Oh my gosh, this is so good. What is in this? Are you tasting this? It's so good. Wow. They're letting us in. Here we go. Thanks for having us. Oh my gosh, he's here.
Oh my gosh, this was the best experience ever. I couldn't believe that Dominique himself was there and that he greeted everybody. It honestly was one of the overall best experiences I've ever had in any restaurant, cafe, bakery, anything.
Okay, here we go. I don't even know how to eat this. It's so pretty. I don't want to ruin it. This is wild. It's so good. It's got sugar on the outside, so it's kind of crunchy. And whatever this filling is, I think fell from heaven. It's so good. This is literally one of the best bakeries I think I've ever been to in my entire life.
So I've been to New York a couple times, and usually when I go to New York, it ends up being a combination of walking around and eating. I have a few friends that live in this city, so usually I try to meet up with them and get food or coffee, which honestly is not a bad deal because then I get to catch up and eat all the yummy food in the city at the same time.
I just met up with my friend Asta.
Hey.
Say hi. We've known each other for a long time. We met through a program called Distinguished Young Women.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. It's wild. But we just went to this super yummy place called Kava. It's kind of like a sweet green or Chipotle where you go up and like mix and match your own bowl, and it's super healthy. So lunch was lovely. Now we're going into Bryant Park to find this place called the Stackery. Supposedly they make these chimney funnel cakes and they fill them with ice cream and hot chocolate and all these really yummy sugary things. So we're gonna go find those and I'm really excited about it.
The one I got had toasted marshmallows, and then they put this like chocolate cream cheese frosting on the top with more toasted marshmallows, a graham cracker, and a piece of chocolate. It was insane. Then I headed to Grand Central Station for the part of my trip that I was most excited about.
I'm in Grand Central now. I'm taking the train practically to Connecticut because I'm about to go on a helicopter tour. This is probably the thing I'm most excited about for this trip because I'm gonna get some aerial shots of the city. So let's see if I can make it on time. So I'm back in Grand Central, but 3 hours later because when I got to Connecticut, my helicopter tour friend said that my tour is tomorrow. So I'm back, and I just wasted 3 days and a lot of really awesome daylight, and I'm kind of mad at myself. But you know what? I had some nice time to rest on the train ride, and it was a really beautiful ride, so I'm just gonna chalk it up as an experience and not let it ruin my trip because there's still lots of fun things to do.
I could not believe it. I felt like such a dummy. I literally planned my whole trip around going on this helicopter tour because I had to go all the way out practically to Connecticut to get there. And so getting on the train, paying for the tickets, hopping in the Uber, all of those things to get to the aviation station and have them say, "We don't have your reservation," was dumb. But the truth is, when you're traveling, things happen, things don't always go as planned. So you have to be flexible, you have to roll with it and just make the most out of it. The good part was I got to end my night with one of my best friends and try the famous banana pudding from Magnolia Bakery.
This is my friend Christina.
Hi.
She's one of my best friends ever. She was the Distinguished Young Woman of America for 2012. Fun fact about her, she's gonna sing at my wedding. But we're here getting banana pudding, having a grand old time, and this place smells like heaven. Do you know what you're gonna get yet?
I'm thinking about the red velvet cheesecake. I've lived here 4 years and not had the banana pudding, but look how good that looks.
That looks so good. I've gotta back up.
Ooh, look at that.
Just diving in.
Let's get a good bite. Oh yeah. That crust, oh my gosh.
Oh my heavens. Banana pudding. Here we go. Oh my gosh. It's so fluffy.
Yeah.
It's so creamy, yeah. Wow. This is amazing. How have I been to New York 5 times and I've never heard about this?
When I finally got to go on the helicopter tour, it was amazing.
Made it back to White Plains. Take 2. finally worked. It's the right day this time. I'm about to get on the helicopter and I'm so excited.
If you've never done a helicopter tour, it doesn't matter if it's New York City or somewhere else. Do it. It was so worth going all the way out to Connecticut twice for this helicopter tour. If you're afraid of heights, maybe don't do it. But as a photographer, it was a dream. I mean, it was so incredible to see this city from that height, especially at sunset. If you can book a helicopter tour at sunset, do it. I went with Wings Air, incredible company. The people were so nice and we had such an amazing time.
That was amazing. What do you think, Kyle?
It was pretty sweet. I've never seen the city from that kind of direction before, and I would love to see it again.
That was epic. How about you, Heather?
That was awesome. It was incredible. I couldn't believe we were
Perfect sunset,
where we were.
like a little bit. It was bright enough, sunny enough.
Yeah.
I did so many other fun things while I was in this city. So if you want to read about those, I posted a detailed guide on my blog. So go to Nicole the Nomad if you want to check that out. I'll put the link in the description box below. But I hope this inspired you and gave you some ideas of what you can do on a trip by yourself. Traveling alone is a lot scarier than it sounds. And I think once you go, you'll be surprised at how much fun you have. If you like this video and want to see more like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.